guitar stuff on it, which really enhanced it, and I liked what he did. And then he went home. It was around 9 o'clock at night or something like that. And around 4 o'clock in the morning, he calls me up and the phone is ringing. I'm asleep. I goes, hello, what's up, you know? And it's Prince, Peppy, wide awake. I finished that song, man. I didn't want to let him down and go, man, do you know what time it is? It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't want to do anything like that, so I just said, wow, that's really great. You know, I mean, I could care less. I mean, I really cared, but I could have waited till the morning.
Another thing he'd do is go through red lights, you know, drive through red lights with his very first car. He would drive through a red light with us in the car. It was sort of like a dare type thing, and I'd have to pray for him to stop. Prince, please let me out of the car, please. Can you, please, man, just let me out right on the corner. I don't care, man, I don't. And he would just look at me like he had some kind of magic, I swear to God. Like he knew that no cars were gonna hit him when we went through this red light. And I didn't like that, though. That was too much for me. I was like, hey, okay, I can go along with the mythology, hey, but this is like, you know, so that's the kind of guy he was.
Because he sang in a falsetto voice, I don't think that he had fully gained the confidence of the acceptance of that kind of a voice. And so he would tend to sing very quietly. And I remember I was always in the control room. I didn't have the world's best equipment. And I was shoving all the faders all the way up and trying to get his, you know, all the, turning everything up I could and having him move closer to the mic and trying to get a little more volume so that I could see some needle fluctuations on the VU meters. And I was just not getting enough level. It was really an equipment deficiency more than anything else. And so I had to get Prince to sing louder. And so one of the ideas that I tried, I said, look, we're gonna scratch the approach we've been doing. We're gonna try something new here. So I laid pillows down on the floor in the studio, and I had him lay down, and I put the microphone virtually in his mouth, and then we turned off all the lights. And I said, now I'm just going to leave you laying there for a little while just to kind of get relaxed. And we put some headphones on him. And there I am in the control room, pitch black, you know, with this match, trying to find out where the right buttons are. And there's Prince out there somewhere, laying down on the floor with this microphone in his mouth. And I start rolling the tape, and all of a sudden, I get a louder voice. And I think, this is it. I've found the magic.
Prince really conjured the whole Purple Rain mythology, I think, in order for him to be able to survive and to break through. Because, in fact, Prince grew up in a Minneapolis where there were no creative outlets for his music. There were really no models for the kind of music he was drawn to make. He had to fashion it as he went along, and he, in the process, fashioned a whole world.
When Purple Rain was filmed, all the tourists came in. Is Prince there? I could have Sonny Ade or Neville Brothers on stage, and people, who the fuck cares, you know? I mean, they want to see Prince. Is he around? And you'd say, but look, this is the Neville Brothers. They're great.
It wasn't that he changed. It was the people around him that changed. And I think later on, because he could get anything he wanted from people, that it affected him. You know, whether it's good, whether it's bad, that's for who to say, who knows. You know, but I think that he started really feeding off of other people wanting to do things for him. You know, at first you would go, no, 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 man, I do that, I'll do it. But then, you know, when you get 10, 15, 20 people who want to do stuff for you all the time, then you go, oh, okay, okay. You know, and then it just gets to a point where he didn't have to do anything anymore but his music.
Prince came up at a time when the playlists on radio were as drastically segregated as they'd been any time since the early 60s. And he really played a vital role in spirit and in direct lineage in helping to break down those barriers. Michael Jackson and Thriller get most of the credit for breaking down the barriers that had sprouted up at radio. But I really think Prince and his whole kind of crossover project from Dirty Mind onward also had a great deal to do with that. I mean, he simply refused to admit of any kind of stylistic boundaries, and I think that had a really healthy effect on what was becoming a more and more segregated musical set of playlists at the time.
I remember there was always a very deep sense that he had to compete with Michael Jackson. That was his only competition. and that there was enough closeness in style that he had to peg out his own territory.
I believe that he had a lot of musical influences, but I believe that Prince was not the type of person to be influenced and sort of stuck emulating that kind of person. I believe that he was the kind of talent that could take a liking to a particular artist and take what they were doing to the next level.
Nobody who's been on the scene in the past 20 years recombines musical elements as freely and as creatively